It's interesting to me, the procedures at instant, where the investigating officer wanted to book an arrest, and somehow the state's attorney got involved at that point, to me is a deviation from standard procedure. He should have been booked, he should have been arrested, and then the state's attorney can conduct an investigation and determine whether charges are brought.
I don't want to taint this for you any further, but Zimmerman's father is also a judge, and if you looked at the Vandersloot case in Aruba, where we had some influence with the father, you may have the same thing going on here.
Those are totally different.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Two different countries.
This is the system we live in.
No, it's so off base, it's irresponsible. I'm sorry, Lou, that you cannot draw a comparison.
To that.
And I take exception to using it, to be honest.
What would be so surprising? I can tell you this right now, and I'm a little reluctant, but I'm going to tell you it. Every time we run into people in our own community, the law enforcement community, we show them deference. Lawyers do it, doctors do it. What would make you think the judicial system would not do it for a judge? I'm confused.
Logic. You've gone too anecdotal.
This whole case is devoid of logic.
I'd be happy to give it to you.
Go right ahead,
You've drawn two individual circumstances and drawn a parallel. Two anecdotal individual circumstances and drawn a parallel that just simply doesn't give you evidence to add them together.
So Trayvon might have had weed in his bag once, and that's relevant, but the fact that the shooter's father is a judge and wasn't charged is not relevant.
Let me just make one thing clear to you. Have I ever sat at this table with you and suggested that Trayvon's marijuana residue is relevant here?
Well, we're talking about logic, and it is a debate worthy of discussion.
When you draw something in like that, it suggests a weakness in your argument.
We're curious how this case seemed to have left the radar screen for 2 weeks until somebody finally breathe some more life into it.
So let me say
and I'm telling you that this is a very strong possibility.
I think it's
Please don't tell me that judges, don't tell me that I've spent 39 years in the law enforcement community. I know the influence judges have, clerks of the court. I hate to break the news to you, but I've exercised some influence myself. I shouldn't really say that, but I'm going to tell you that. And that's the fact of our life, and we do it every day.
So
we show
who's telling it like it is?
Well, let me say this. In an effort to identify where we disagree and agree to disagree at a certain point.
I think it's quite clear where you disagree.
Well, the mayor pointed it out. We know one thing happened at the prosecutor's office. One of two things. Either they saw a lack of evidence or there's a conspiracy.
I have a question.
Well, the prosecutor should not have stepped in at that point, is my contention, number one, because at that point, what information did the prosecutor have? They didn't have anything other than what George Zimmerman told them in an interview that took place.
I want to bring it back to
comprehensive this investigation was, or how much evidence was gathered, how much forensics were examined, a cumulative product before you made a decision that was almost somewhat spontaneous to kick a case that an investigator, who I believe was a detective, saw enough merit in charging him. Maybe he understood the stand your ground law and his superiors didn't. It wouldn't be the first time it happened.
I want to bring in this.
Down south is that what Lou's describing with the judge and the prosecutor is what we call home cooking.
Why?
I mean, it happens, and it may happen here.
Let me